Hello, sewing people of the internet. This is going to be a 2-year follow-up review of the tutorial backpack that I made 2 years ago. This is in response to some direct questions about this particular project and just kind of some general follow-up questions. So I thought it would be interesting to see how this pack has held up. I actually just realized it was 2 years ago when responding to a comment to one of the videos in the tutorial series. So, before I get started, if you like what I do, you can support me by buying something from my Teespring store. You'll see a shelf below the video or a link in the description. Otherwise, just clicking like, subscribing, commenting, and sharing these videos with anyone you know who might like them is a huge help. Thank you very much. Okay, so full disclosure, I haven't carried this bag daily for the entire 2 years since I built it because I made other bags that I've carried. I did carry this daily for some time, and I've been carrying it as my daily carry bag for probably the last couple months, I'd say. And I've also used it fairly extensively for some travel back in the good old days when traveling was a thing. And even during the post-COVID era, I have taken it on some overnight driving trips. I'm going to kind of take everything out of the bag as we talk and kind of discuss how I use it and what I've found useful and what could be improved on. But I just want to start off with overall, the thing is perfect. Like, there's no wear, no damage of any kind. The orange strap back parts, they're dirty, and I haven't done anything to wash this or clean it in any way, really. So they're a little discolored. This canvas is unwaxed canvas. Maybe going forward I probably would use either nylon or waxed canvas or something for it. I do love the look of the orange, but that's really the only thing that looks different from when I made it, other than I think, you know, when you first make a backpack or similar item, it's a little bit more crisp and stands up straighter, and then like all of us, as it ages, it kind of relaxes and softens up a little bit. So, but yeah, other than that, the bag is perfect, and I mean, I've used it hard and thrown it around and taken no care to try to preserve it, and it's great. I'm super happy with it. In the tutorial series and in a follow-up video to the tutorial series, I addressed the mistake I made in the design of this bag, where I attached the strap that closes the bag down in the bottom behind this front pocket. That just was a mistake. It didn't work. I've since gone back and repaired it. There's a video covering that. Now I'm very happy with how it closes. I love this buckle still. I mentioned in the tutorial video also that this buckle is a 1 3/4 inch buckle, and I'm using it on a 1.5 inch strap, and it hasn't caused any issues at all. It's fine. So very happy with that. When I made the bag, I made this bag, or designed the bag primarily with travel and air travel in mind, and that is what led to the laptop sleeve in the back panel. I wanted it so that the laptop would be accessible without having to open the main compartment of the bag, so that when I was going through security and on a flight, I could easily pull the laptop out separate from the bag. And that's worked beautifully the one time that I've flown with the bag. So it worked perfectly, but for the rest of my life I don't really use a laptop, or at least I didn't. Well, circumstances have changed, and now I bring a laptop with me to work every day, so I suddenly find myself using this laptop sleeve. So by happenstance, now this bag is even more useful to me than it previously was. Side story, I broke my previous MacBook 2 days before I needed to go on a multi-day flight and road trip. And I needed to bring my laptop with me. So 2 days before that trip, I bought a very, very expensive new MacBook and put it in this bag that I made and hauled it all over the country on a trip. And if you really want to test your confidence about something you've made, that's a great way to do it. Laptop survived without a scratch. So just for the sake of kind of breaking down how I'm using the bag, and to kind of go over some of the features that have worked and maybe not worked as well. I'm just going to take stuff out of the bag. So this slip compartment, I'm not making as effective use of as I used to. I said in the video I keep a book back here, and on my lunch break I like to read a book, and I haven't been able to do that as much lately. My lunch break is a little bit more amorphous these days, not as clearly defined, and I still try to read some, but it's not as strict as it was before. But I still keep a book in here. And then I kind of just, like when I have mail to bring home from work or whatever, you know, miscellaneous papers that I just need to stick somewhere for a minute, then that's a good place to put it, as long as I am not going to be out in the world where things might fall out or blow out in the wind or something like that. I almost always keep an extra mask in here because that's the time we live in. Still keep the same pouch. I think I mentioned this in the final video in the tutorial series. I keep some earbuds and phone charger and that kind of thing in. And I have a little stick sunscreen in case I need to slap some sunscreen on my face. I forgot that was in there, the rotary cutter that I didn't mean to keep in there. So in the front zipper pocket, when I made the bag, I made an organizer panel inside the bag, and in a later bag I made a removable organizer panel, and that's actually what's in here now. This is another one of those ideas. This is kind of not that great, but this is another one of those ideas that I think, at least for somebody who likes to make bags, this is maybe something to implement, because once it's in there, it's, you know, it doesn't come out that easily. It still works quite well as a stationary panel. But if I make another bag, or if I like to carry multiple different bags, you know, throughout the week or the month or whatever, I can just take this whole panel out and stick it into the pocket of another bag, provided that it fits. So anyway, so that's how I'm using this. And I've just got a couple pins, flashlight, multi-tool, hand sanitizer in this. I've been looking for this USB cable for probably a week. And I also keep a comb in here because I have to comb my hair frequently. Before I keep emptying this thing out, I also want to point out that this bag, usually, if I have it loaded reasonably well, stands up very well on its own, which is a nice feature. In the final video of the tutorial series, I mentioned that I initially did not like the placement of the water bottles in terms of the appearance. I moved them up on this bag from the previous version to align the bottle pocket tops with the top of the front pocket, just for aesthetic purposes, but I didn't think about how that would look for the bottom of the bottles. And I said in the last video of the tutorial series that at first I didn't like it, and then I got to the point where I didn't really care, and I really don't care now. Again, I'm not sure, like if I was going to redo this bag, I might change that, but it doesn't bother me. Still always carry an Algene with me. These pockets have been fantastic for that. It goes right in, stays securely, comes right out. Usually I have either a travel coffee mug in this other pocket or nothing. I have a pack of gum in here now. Getting into the main part of the bag, the only reason I'm even talking about this is that I'm sure some people probably wonder, why do you need to carry around a backpack with you everywhere you go? And to be clear, most of the stuff I don't really need and could easily live without. This honestly is a bit of a security blanket for me. I did one trip that a significant part of it was a solo trip and stuff, and it was nice to have this be a grounding feature. It's something that I have with me every day anywhere, most days. You know, added a bit of familiarity to an unusual circumstance. So that's part of it, but I also just like to have some stuff with me in case I need it. I also have items in here that I do use regularly. I generally keep everything in the bag packed in separate pouches so that it's easier to find, because one of the problems with the roll top is, again, it's kind of cavernous and hard to see and hard to find things in because you don't have a big opening. Said this in the tutorial, and I'm just going to reiterate it here because I still feel just as strongly as I did. If you want a roll top backpack, I don't think there's any reason that makes sense to me to have a big zipper access to the main compartment of the bag. If you want that, just have a zipper backpack. Like, unless you just want the look of a roll top and you don't want to unroll it ever, I guess that could be a thing. I personally don't understand that at all. But in my opinion, it doesn't make any sense to add a big zipper access to this. It's just something that can come open, allow water to get in, you can forget to close it. The whole point of a roll top is that it's very secure when closed and very weatherproof. So, all right, that's enough of that. Some of the things I keep in here, this is my tech pouch. I made this out of 400D pack cloth, which is a little boxed in pouch. And it's an extra hard drive and cables and stuff, charger for my MacBook. As always, I have a couple of journals for writing notes and stuff in. I generally keep an extra t-shirt. My work varies quite a bit as to what I might be doing in a given day, and on some occasions I might suddenly find myself in the attic or in some other situation where I'm going to end up being very, very sweaty and very dirty. So I like to keep an extra t-shirt with me so at least I can become presentable again. This is just a little toiletry pouch that I keep, you know, a couple Band-Aids and extra floss and just little things like that, comfort items. Same reason as the t-shirt, I got a little body spray stuff. And my extra pair of glasses in the event that I lose a contact lens and don't have the time or the ability to replace it. I can put my glasses on. And apparently a reusable shopping bag that I forgot was in there. So as you can see, the bag is nowhere near full in the configuration that I normally carry it. And that's part of the point for me, is I have extra capacity if I need to carry more stuff, but also the bag is big enough that I can use it on overnight travel. So in October of 2019, I took this bag as my only bag, so one bag to travel with it. I traveled by air from here to Chattanooga, Tennessee, where I saw the greatest band in the world perform in concert. So then from Chattanooga, the trip continued by car over to Arkansas, and then from Arkansas I flew back home to Florida. This is the only bag that I had for that trip, and carried everything that I needed for, I think I was gone for 4 nights. And it was very comfortable. The straps were completely comfortable, no issues at all. I had no complaints about the bag. It worked exactly as I hoped it would. Since I just took everything out of this one, I might actually load it up into the older prototype version of the bag, because I haven't carried it in some time. One downside to continually making new backpacks is if you don't get rid of them somehow, you either have to carry them or feel bad about not carrying them. So the point of this video was to tell you how this bag has held up over the last couple of years, and it's held up incredibly well. I'm still super happy with it. Shout out to Big Duck Canvas. If you're looking for wax canvas, they have a great selection, and the stuff has held up really well. I'm super happy with the quality. Clearly I love this AustriAlpin buckle. I've used these on several bags and will probably use them more. The FY20 foam in the shoulder pads and the padding for the back panel on this bag still feels terrific. I'm still really happy with that. I have a little bit more of that left, and I'll probably be using it again soon. That foam came from Outdoor Wilderness Fabrics. Strapworks provided the Mil-Spec 17337 webbing that I used, and that's my go-to webbing all the time at this point. And also, big thanks to the Thread Exchange for providing me not only with the thread for this project, but actually by sending me such a variety of thread that I ended up changing the look of this bag by doing the orange top stitching. That wasn't part of the plan until I realized I had a thread that would look really cool, so thanks to them. I'll include links to the suppliers of the materials that I used for this bag in case you haven't seen the tutorial or haven't been back there in a while. Some of those links might be affiliate links. If they are, then that means if you buy something, I'll get a little commission at no charge to you. Anyway, I hope you got something out of that. What I most want to convey is if you were thinking about making something like a backpack, if you use good materials, if you take your time and do a good job, you can be carrying it for years and using it for hard use purposes and have a product that will last a long time. So I encourage you to try it if you're thinking about it. If you need to start smaller, you can make some smaller pouches and stuff. But it's a really rewarding experience to have a piece of gear that you can count on that you made. If you have questions or comments, you know where to post them. Click like if you liked it. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.